Fast forward in Como or channel use AGH Politics Avenue. Podcasters are training because make headlines. And a jump rena, EDB Exomo or any day near home break and then a day can. It's just which must subscribe to the channel. Hit notification bell so share now Afro so answer into me and can be any day near home break Simo. Best rock say young political highways. Only up your political highways in a year Ecowas delegation. Afenyo markings or no. And I would see minority leaders and him organ has you know. A humpan sema so be kaya na crate be free a year Ecowas aba ameno say Afenyo markings timi ebien no and so etimi atimontes you. At this point in time, you move in some potia Ecowas and so at a trade the Ghana Parliament. A faster in some museum. AGH Politics Avenue. Best say young in Simini.
It is our prayer that the first deputy speaker and his committee will resist all temptations, are being pushed to do that which is never done in any democracy. The minority leader has not disrespected any order of this house. Indeed, the Ecowas Parliament rejected outrightly the resolution that sought to remove the minority leader from his seat as an Ecowas MP. The minorities leader's seat at Ecowas Parliament is not one of those that can be removed. You can remove the Chief Justice. You can remove others who are political appointees, but not his bona fide right as a member of Ecowas Parliament and the third deputy speaker. He shall remain until April 2028, when his tenure shall have come to an end. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much indeed.
Well, away from Parliament, let's go back to our earlier story bordering on the CTAC strike and engage the president of CTAC, Maxwell Bunu. Maxwell, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Maxwell, the sector minister says government has initiated steps to pay the 41 million cedis that is owed you as an association. What is your reaction to this very assurance?
All right, good afternoon, and that's not your listeners. Like the what you want this to pay. I think the first thing I would like to say
Maxwell, we are actually struggling to hear you. So when we actually fix the telephone lines, we'll really reconnect and so our viewers can hear you better. But this is Weekend Central, and we are active on Facebook. Engage us with your comment, opinions, hopefully with...
Better in Tumu is not going to open because there's a 24-hour economy. No, she's going to open and close because there is demand. Where is the 24-hour economy that was supposed to give people 3 jobs, 1 job, 3 schedules? So that if the Ghana Commercial Bank in Tumu was to open for 3 times, then people get jobs. Where is that was the biggest antidote to unemployment that the NDC sold us. 2, they sold us the Women Development Bank. As another game changer, because see, women can be the engine of growth. One of the issues because of cultural, social, and other things, women are restricted in their access to capital. So men have relatively more access to capital to invest than women do. This was what the women development was supposed to cure. It was supposed to be one of the things that will come in and say, look, you know what? Let's make it relatively easier for that young woman, for that mother, for that sister, for that daughter to be able to get access to capital to invest and expand. Where is the 24-hour economy?
I said the bank.
Where's the bank? Capitalized. You see, there's something happening. Priorities, when the government has a priority, they make sure they find a way to fund it. How much money was given for the Women Development Bank?
It's over 400 million.
That is Martin, you know that I tried not to interrupt you because I didn't want that. I'm trying to let me make. I'm saying that.
But he's talking about the.
I'm saying that.
If I get the line of argument, it is the establishment and operationalization of the bank.
You were going to establish the bank. It's taking you how many years does it take you?
The projection in the budget is there.
Yes, Dr. Zato, please. Disclosure if it makes you look like there's nothing.
There's nothing. Where's the bank? Oh, where's the bank? No. Listen, I want to go that rat hole with you. Where's the bank?
The bank is in the budget, but the budget has just been read.
Is that where we find banks? No. Banks are not living in budgets.
You see.
No. Banks are not living in budgets. Come on. What are you trying to say? No, banks now live in budgets. Where is the... So if I am a Ghanaian woman now and I want to access the 24-hour economy, I should go to the bank, I should go to the budget.
The budget has just been approved.
But this is not the first budget. This is not. There was a budget.
Well, the first budget had over about $50 million.
The first allocation was $50 million.
So what has happened? You see, I like the way you are trying to be very good apologists of this government. You have done that. You have been a very good apologist of this government, and that is okay. Let's understand, because I'm saying that the 24-hour economy is still a mirage. It's not there. I can see it. If the bank is there, show me after this, I will drive there. So this was supposed to be the two pillars of development. So far, we are seeing above the 24-hour economy and the women development. It's a scam. It's a mirage. None of them exist. And precisely because of that, these issues are exacerbating. That is the point I'm making. Look, let's go back to Agric.
But, from the
No, I don't know. Okay, yes. Africa, stay with me.
Okay,
so you begin to see that these issues, because they have not been solved, because there's nothing tangible, concrete that you can point to as them, they have contributed. They are contributing to this. You talk about Agric. Look, I'm not an expert in Agric, but I'm going to focus on Sisala East because we produce the base mix in there. Something happens with Agric. And if you go to Sisala East now, the youth are in Agric. They started with the planting for food things. And I can tell you, the former minister of Agric, Akuffo, once made a statement that because of planting for food and this thing, a lot of people are no more living in thatch houses and this thing. It was considered offensive because, but the reality is that it's true. If you go to Sisala land and go to almost every place, if you see the number of development except in terms of business, it's amazing because of people made money from this. A quantity of the fertilizer was smuggled. That is a national security issue. It's not an issue for the farmers and the youth to deal with. National security could deal with that. So it contributed. Planting for food put money in people's pocket. Planting for food fed people. Planting for food sent people to universities. Did that. It has been good. Now, something happened. I made this argument here the last time. Last year, if you sold a bag of maize, you could get up to 600 or 700 there. Last year, if you sold a bag of soya beans, the same thing. The prices were high. You could sell a bag of maize and at least buy one fertilizer, if not two, depending upon whether you are buying sulfate or this. Today, the prices of maize has fallen drastically. Farmers are struggling, and even the worst thing is that there is no even demand for them. Farmers are struggling to sell their maize. So a lot of young people, if you go to Tumu now, I can tell you, every teacher you see has a farm. Every nurse has a farm. Every government worker has a farm because they use it to supplement their income. A good number of them have teachers have taken their PVs to go and take loans to buy fertilizer. Nurses, teachers have done. Now they are looking at debt. Because what they have harvested...
Respectfully, is it negative that more people are entering farming?
It's very good, it's very good. Okay. But I'm telling you that because the prices have crashed and collapsed, now they cannot pay the debts they've gotten into. They cannot pay for the fertilizers and things they've gotten into. And that's the problem. Because another thing has happened, labor shortage this time. Now, I want to take something I know. During this year time, you usually have a lot of people coming from Upper East into Sisala area. Some coming from Burkina, the Moshis, to come and work on the farms. The labor is dried. I have 10 acres of maize sitting in Tumu now. I don't have anybody to harvest it. So every day I'm praying that fire doesn't come to destroy them.
Is it your case?
Let him finish.
My case is that right now...
The drying of the labor...
No,
it's connected. You can talk about the demand for the maize has been so low.
Right.
Prices have collapsed. So that could be good for food. But the problem is good for food that prices have collapsed. But here's the problem then. The farmers cannot sell to repay their debts and then to invest next year. You see the conundrum there. It's a conundrum. So on the one hand, kenke prices should be low, but they have still stayed where they are. The sizes should be bigger, but they still stayed where they are. But it's good. The same thing is happening. So when you look at it like that, then you then see that it is becoming a disincentive for young people who have a lot of debts who want to sell it. Government announced a farm gate price of almost 400 cities for Bawumia. And the same minister said when they released the money in Agric, 3 days they finished in Accra. They said, no, they actually said the Ghana government company. That money is woefully inadequate. One of the biggest issues even in Sisala right now, a lot of people have warehouses that are full with maize. They can't sell them before they bring in the new one. So there's a huge glut. Government came out with policies to say that schools, prisons, others should buy from them.
Yes.
But it is still inadequate. So my point is that if you want to make this Agric more effective, there are so many ways. Government should start, fertilizer. Government should look at it, how to either subsidize fertilizer or even if possible under the Feed Ghana program, make it free. Government should look at seeds, how to make seeds and other things available, planting, food. So my point is that right now, the demand or the city for young people to go into fertilizer, into farming has been there. The problem they are facing this year is
still resist the attempt not to interact.
No, but you see, gentlemen, so here's what I want to do.
All the solutions you provided, right?
So that's
in the end,
I'm going to come to you.
The produce more in the market.
Because I want to move to the others. I want you to listen to me.
No, the government can then use...
Hold on.
Hold on.
Wait.
No, I'm only helping...
Wait. I want him to conclude on the point because I'm going to come to you. When you are speaking, you would raise your issue. If it has to be responded to, you go ahead. So please conclude on the point.
So, getting people into Agric will demand a lot of things.
Okay.
At least the farm gate price is a very good thing to motivate them. Getting inputs, Agric inputs, fertilizer, seedlings, and others will be a very, very good thing to do that. Government should see how you can do that. Okay. Because the demand for people to go into is already the youth to go there, especially the youth where I come from. The question then becomes the glut. Right now, there's egg glut. There's an egg glut in the camp. There's a lot of glut. So we should then look at processing.
It creates the impression that the government is rather doing very well.
So that's what I'm going to come to you because you see, you are introducing a different trajectory to the conversation.
You can look at it. If you are a farmer, and you cannot sell your eggs, are you happy about it?
Obviously not.
You cannot invest next year. Right. If you are a farmer and you have maize and there's a glut, you cannot invest. So I'm saying that that's why I say we can look at two prices.
Conclude on the point.
Lower prices for consumers should be a good thing.
Okay.
That's one aspect. But if you are a farmer and you are a businessman and you have gone into debt, you've taken loans to farm, you also want to recoup, make profit before you go. If not, then next year you have nothing to invest. If you have nothing to invest, then you see that there's incentive to go back to the farm.
Thank you. So you see, I was showing you part of the data, which it was just to aid the point, but you had indicated that you still wanted to move on. You see, this picture of what's happening in the agricultural sector paints a certain projection of how things are going to be. 5 million people. You mentioned the glut of rice, maize, eggs. It is not because there is no demand. So that's where the challenge is. In fact, there's been interventions to have them reduce. Pricing is a big issue. If there's glut, one of the ways of consuming or encouraging consumption of that excess production of a particular item is the price mechanism. Reduce, get people to. That's another avenue. It's a very big issue that we're seeing playing out now. So there's been some interventions to have the prices reduced so people can consume more. There's something like you wanted to make an intervention quickly on what the situation is now with the Agric sector, because now if farmers are producing more at less cost, then that also is a positive development, you say, quickly.
Well,
quickly, then I'll go to...
For me, I am quite excited about everything Doc and Martin says, because from the narrative, it appears to me that the government is doing excessively well. Because if you have more food in the market, obviously, that is what every nation wants. Every nation would want to have enough food for its people and indeed for anyone else who is within their jurisdiction. So if government is already achieving that purpose, and we have stability in prices, indeed, stability across everything. I mean, in our economy, this is the first time in 1 year that nothing is skyrocketing. Everything appears to be as it used to be when the government assumed office. In fact, others are rather going down, particularly with respect to petroleum prices. I mean, I would not pretend to be an economist, but I live in an economy where I can feel, I know how much I buy things, how much I used to buy the same item, and I know how much I used to suffer to gain the very things that I mean, relatively stable now. So this one, I do not need a political party or government to tell me how I should feel. I remember this has been my position right from, even in the previous government. I remember when President Mahama used to criticize the government. My comment had always been one, that I do not need President Mahama to tell me how bad the economy is, because I'm living in the economy. I'm feeling it. The same principle applies today. I do not need anybody in an opposition government to tell me how this economy is faring, because I am living in this economy. I know how relatively easier it is for me to go about my ordinary activities. And it affirms this price of the agric products. Egg, I used to buy egg. I mean, and good for me, I go to market myself most of the times. even though I have a better half who would want to do that. But I go to the market myself. So I know the price of items, not from what the economists tell me, not from what I read in the newspapers, from what I buy personally. I used to buy egg for about 70 cedis a year ago. Today I'm buying egg for 60 cedis. I thank God for that. I used to buy prices of ordinary items, bread, food, and everything that I can think of. The prices have either remained stable, or gone down, relatively gone down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you put all those together, and you tell me that because we have excessive produce in the market, then something is wrong.
But you looked at this from the perspective of the farmer.
No, I'm coming there. Because Doc also makes some solutions, which are all fundamental solutions to our problems in this country anyway. In fact, if you ask the BEC's candidate to tell you the problems of Agric, he can literally list everything. And these are not unknown to all of us, because we have all been to school and we know the problems of our economy and indeed the problems of our Agric. But when you offer the same solutions that appears not to be working for us, because the solutions that you offer appears to be the solutions that will give us more food, but without tackling how the excessive food should be utilized.
No, but I said we should go into production. We should use, for instance, maize. We produce maize and we just eat it. Can we turn maize into something?
But
in Brazil, they are turning maize into fuel. Okay. Can we go? So my point is that yes,
no, that's the value addition.
Value addition.
Yeah.
But before you add, good. So before you add value addition,
so we have to industrialize some of them.
But you have to do that. There's another aspect. But again, I want to.
But this is what I was driving at, right? Mm-hmm. Mischievously, I wanted to say this: if you have a company set up by the state to buy the excessive food, and the leaders of those companies allegedly use those monies for their private gains in the excess of millions of Ghana cedis, how do you expect this economy to survive?
And let me just chip in one for you.
So what do you do that one?
Wait.
You prosecute them, and then you solve the problem.
Okay. Look,
you do that. You arrest those people.
No,
you prosecute them. But then you still have to.
I will accept Martin's intervention, and then I'll reject yours.
Akuffo says that it is not government's duty to find market for these farmers that today you are making noise about. Google it.
No, it doesn't matter.
You were quiet. You see the double side. You were quiet. What did you say?
I'm not Akuffo. I am the Ďismišsǎl, and I am telling you that government has a responsibility to the farmers and the consumers. Did you see me here on TV?
Why didn't you go on Facebook?
Are you okay? Martin, I like the fact that you say not everybody tries to do it, and I'm happy. I like the fact that you are steadfastly defending this government. Remember when I said you were saying you are
your mic is off.
You are living up to
your mic is off. Doc, okay, I gave you 2 seconds. Now you made it 2 minutes. I'll never give you any. So my point is this: we need to look at things from all angles. If you have been entrusted with the responsibility to support all of us, and you rather use that for your private gain, you and your family members, throwing parties in mid-air and all of that, obviously there is a challenge. You can no longer blame government for your private misconduct if it is correct. I mean, if it is proven to be true that indeed, I mean, these things happen. Right. Point is this: we all have responsibility to make this work. We all have responsibilities, and those responsibilities would include you also eating Ghanaian-made food, and stop eating paddy rice from Taiwan and China and all those other countries. You, Dr. Zato, I know you like foreign-made rice. I know you like foreign-made rice. It is obvious. It is obvious.
I'm not going to eat with you. You've never seen me eat.
So we
must food I eat at home is from my farm.
If you do not do this,
I do that.
If you do not do this, if you not eat Ghana,
we need value addition.
Imagine about 30 million people, all of us insisting on eating what is produced here in this country. This entire conversation about government intervening and certain farm gate prices and all of that, it will be a thing of the past, because most of our foods are imported.
Well, let me bring in this particular picture. It tells you when it comes to the age bracket of this unemployment that we're talking about. This is it. The urban unemployment as against the first part of the 15 to 35 years. So there was that promise to create jobs. You made that promise when you were asking for the mandate of the people. We've seen the announcement of some interventions over time. It is reduced. There's been a reduction from 13.7 to 13% in terms of the headline unemployment rate. But then the picture still doesn't look good, because then if you have the number of people who are in vulnerable employment taken into consideration, it's a big concern. Okay, what should be the forward-looking intervention going forward? A lot has been said about agriculture. Is that a place to look at? As we round up on this segment,
you say it has been reduced from 13.7 to 13.
That's from January. Yes.
13.7 to 13.
13. Yeah. So can you imagine if we were reducing it by 7 under Akuffo up to now? Can you imagine? This is just a 9-month-old government that has been able to reduce it. If we were reducing it like that, do you know where we would be? We would have been 6. And we would have been at par with Canada.
We and some who team course or channel so Mamma so Jimre or had a senate so Wadian, Eddie Adumbi Adumia. Onia, a bubble room, na Yasumu Yipa. Aha, age politics, Abe.